I've talked to a few other, capologists and stuff, and there's a lot of people that have questions, Frank, because in typical NHL fashion, they send out a press release that doesn't explain very much, and then reporters have to dig into it. So, what have you uncovered here? Did Dorian basically just withhold information?
So it's usually not the GM that does the trade call. It's usually one of the assistant GMs that goes through it. Sometimes the GM is on the line. I don't think in this case it specifically was Pierre Dorian personally. Okay. And what we had here and what unfolded was a 73-page report that amazingly didn't come for 591 days after the 2022 trade deadline, when the trade of Evgeny Dadonov from Vegas to Anaheim was invalidated by the league. Why it took that long, as Michael Andlauer asked the question, beyond me. This is a 2-day hearing process. I don't know what the lawyers that work for the NHL or around the NHL get paid, but I imagine it's a princely hourly sum. And it's surprising to me that it took this long to come together. So the end result is kind of simple to formulate. It's when the trade happened from Ottawa to Vegas on the call, and the league has record of this. The Vegas Golden Knights asked, is there anything to be aware of as far as a no trade clause? Do you have a list? And they were told no. And so the Sens did not provide info on the clause or the list. And that sort of began the spiral, which then resulted in that later trade, 8 months later, from being nullified. So it was a tough spot for the Golden Knights to be in. The Ducks were unhappy that they didn't get a second round pick as part of that trade. The Golden Knights were mad and miffed at the time that they not only didn't get the cap relief that they needed at the deadline, but also wore the embarrassment of making it seem like they didn't have their stuff together by not having the list. And all the blowback came on the Sens. The problem for Michael Andlauer, now owning the team and only owning the team for 40 days, is he's now had to deal with two really embarrassing punishments from the NHL, neither one which he had any link to, and also apparently didn't have very much knowledge of.